A risk potential review, or a risk potential assessment, is a rapid evaluation of the type and scale of risks that are associated with a prospective project. We use it to help determine whether to proceed to full definition and planning. A risk potential review is an early, structured look at just how risky a possible project is. This way, sponsors can decide whether to proceed, and if so, what kind of controls to put in place. It's deliberately high level and front-loaded, done before we commit too much resource to a project which might just be too risky to undertake. Its purpose is not to produce a risk register, but rather to expose the levels of uncertainty, complexity, and unpredictability of the project that you might undertake. That way, the project team can plan appropriately and you can put in place the right governance to reduce that risk. We'll look at a 7-stage risk potential review process. Stage 1. Understand project context. Before you even start to think about risk, make sure you have a good shared understanding of the context of the project you might be doing. What is it that this project would be trying to achieve? The main things that you'll be doing here are reviewing business objectives and the intended benefits, understanding the scope, dependencies and constraints around the project, identifying key assumptions and clarifying success criteria. At this stage, you're asking, what conditions must be true for success? You'll also want to convene a cross-functional group to help you. Think about including people from finance, legal, technical and operations backgrounds to help you find the unknown unknowns that could have a major impact on your project. Stage 2. Gather information and identify key stakeholders. Identify the right people to involve in identifying risks. The sponsor, the project manager, key technical leads, finance, operations, legal, compliance, and major suppliers and major users. Also collect existing documentation. Business case, concept brief, high-level schedules, assumptions lists, and dependency maps, where any of these are available. And decide on the format for meetings that will help you identify your risks. You can use short workshops, big group sessions, individual interviews, focus groups, or questionnaire-based assessments. Stage 3. Identify major risk factors. Examine your project through the lens of a structured set of risk categories. These will help your team to explore risks systematically rather than relying on unstructured brainstorming alone. Typical domains include strategy and alignment, scope and complexity, stakeholders and governance, technology and technical complexity, delivery capability, people and organizational constraints, suppliers and business partners, schedule and dependencies, finance, budget, resources, and external factors like regulation, market, or environment. Stage 4. Evaluate substantive project risks. Identify potential future events that could affect your project using risk drivers as prompts. Use approaches like workshops with your team or key stakeholders, interviews with subject matter experts, and lessons learned from previous projects. Phrase each risk clearly as cause, event, effect. For example, because the core technology is unproven, performance tests may fail, causing redesign and a 3-month delay. If helpful, separate threats with negative outcomes from opportunities with positive outcomes. That said, a risk potential review usually focuses entirely on threats. Stage 5. Calculate your risk potential score. A standard risk potential review evaluates the project across a number of critical dimensions. You should score each of these on a simple scale, 1 to 3, 1 to 5, or even 0 to 3 or 0 to 5, where 0 is no threat perceived at all. Think about things like complexity. Is the technology new? Are we integrating legacy systems? Procurement. Does the project rely on a single, unproven vendor? Schedule. Is there an unmovable deadline, like regulatory implementation? Public or political sensitivity. Will failure result in a PR nightmare or legal action? Capability. Does the team have the skills needed to pull this off? And if they don't, can we buy those skills from the marketplace? Then aggregate all of this to find the project's risk potential. Now, step back. Answer the question, how risky is this project as a whole? Step 6. Document, communicate, and use your risk potential review in decision making. Produce a clear summary of your project's risk exposure. This typically includes the project's context and purpose, key high-risk areas, the main drivers of uncertainty, recommended mitigation actions, the implication of the risks on schedule, scope, quality, and budget, the overall risk potential rating, and the rationale for this. A recommendation on whether the project is suitable to proceed, considering the organisation's risk tolerance and risk capacity. And recommended conditions, mitigations, and next steps if the project does proceed. Present this to your sponsor, client, or steering group, and explicitly discuss the decision to go, to no-go, or to revise the project outline and resubmit. Discuss any explicit conditions for approval, like only proceeding if a specific vendor is available, or completing a pilot before finally confirming rollout. And discuss the required level of ongoing risk management and governance. Stage 7. Determine the governance implications if the project goes ahead. Use the findings of your risk potential review to size the level of contingency, both time and budget, and also to scale your risk management effort during the project. Where necessary, adjust the scope, the phasing, or the delivery strategy to reduce your overall risk exposure. This may have budget or schedule implications. And the output of your risk potential review should dictate the level of governance that is appropriate when you deliver the project. For example, a low-risk project might see monthly reporting and light-touch oversight from a PMO. Medium risk might see bi-weekly reporting, a dedicated risk owner, and oversight by a project board. And a high-risk project might see weekly steering group meetings, external audits, and a contingency budget of at least 20% or even more. A risk potential review is a valuable approach to understanding the threats that are posed to your project before you commit any significant resources, not only to delivery, but to planning and specification. If you have any hint that your project is large, complex, or risky in any way, then conduct a risk potential review early, if only to put your mind at ease. Please do give this video a like if you've learned from it or enjoyed it. I'll be creating loads more great project management videos for you, so please do subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of them. And I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one.